In this video, I'm going to show you how I lost over $3,500 trading the markets today. And this was trading ES, also known as the US 500. Alright, so let's rewind this back to the start of the New York kill zone. The first thing that I needed to identify was what was my daily directional bias, i.e. where do I think that the draw on liquidity is? Do I think that we're going to draw higher, or do I think that we're going to draw lower in price? And so zooming in, this is on the 15-minute time frame. You can see that the 50 EMA is greater than the 100, which is greater than the 200 EMA. So this indicates to us that the DOL, the draw on liquidity, is to the upside, and ultimately expecting this Asia buy side liquidity to be taken out. Okay, so daily directional bias is bullish in the market. We next need to identify sell side liquidity. So we had sell side liquidity resting below the London session low. Because the draw on liquidity is to the upside, we're looking for a raid of liquidity to the downside. And we instantly got a raid of sell side liquidity, and this would have been stopping out any early buyers from the London session. And so my expectation is that smart money is going to be looking at buying these sell stops, and then they're going to be looking at targeting buy-side liquidity and targeting higher prices in the market. And so what I was waiting for was a 15-minute bullish confirmation. So originally my buy stop was placed above this 15-minute candle high. Invalidation went just below the liquidity sweep, and I was looking at targeting a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And then we got another 15-minute bullish confirmation. And so my order was then moved to the high of this 15-minute bullish candle. Invalidation stayed at the low of the liquidity sweep, and this is because we never broke the low of the previous 15-minute candle. I was triggered long in this trade right here. We instantly pretty much got a 50% drawdown towards my stop loss, and then price started melting to the downside right here. And so at the end of the day, this was a valid A+ setup for myself. If this presented itself, I would take this trade every single day in the markets. The main thing is that I followed my rules and my exact blueprint in the markets, and I had a clear invalidation on the trade. And this is why it's so important to set a stop loss in the markets. And I remember when I first started trading 7 years ago, I entered this buy position on gold, and I literally didn't even have a stop loss on the position. What ended up happening was the market ran the lows, and it continued melting to the downside. This resulted in blowing my account. So the point here is it's very important to make sure that you have a clear invalidation on every single trade, and that you've calculated your position size accurately in the market. So at the end of the day, this was a valid A+ setup. I'm very, very happy with the position that I took. And when you're trading a fully rules-based mechanical system, it's important to understand that losses are just simply part of the game. And so it makes it a lot easier to actually accept your losses in the market because, I've followed my rules in the market, which is what gives me a proven edge in the market. And so this is just a valid losing trade. I traded my rules, I executed my system, just move on to the next trade, guys. And I remember as well, I used to jump down the rabbit hole, right? I would look at a losing trade, a sample size of just one trade, and then I would start trying to amend my system or amend my strategy. Just accept that this is a losing trade in the market, come back in the following session and repeat your rules over and over again. Just ask yourself, did I trade my trading plan today? And so yeah, everything was looking great in this trade, right? We had a daily directional bias, we had a raid of sell side liquidity, we had bullish momentum stepping into the market. And so yeah, I think it's very important to be very transparent with my winners, my losers, and where I'm personally at with my trading career. As always, thanks so much for your time and support, and you take care, guys. Bye-bye.